It's time for another Elsie's Little Pickles, the pickle pod for the people, promoting pickle protests of MAGA households with a pickle on the porch every opportunity you get. Do not forget to do that, even if it is the holiday season. A frozen pickle on the porch shows that you care. Get a picture of it and send that picture to Elsie's Little Pickles at gmail.com. And here it is. We want to see your icy pickle. We want to see your icy pickle. And so this is a very special, we weren't actually going to do this. We were going to take the holiday off, but we decided that we're going to do a holiday special like the ones that we grew up on. Unfortunately, we could not get any stop motion people to help us with that, nor could we get any animators. So we decided
Bing
to go.
Crosby.
Nope, couldn't get Bing Crosby. We couldn't even afford the fucking music, and it's royalty free. And with that, we decided that we were going to do a special pre-Christmas Elsie's Little Pickles, and we're joined, thankfully, again by
tailgating, if you will,
by my son Colton. Say hello, Colton.
Hello. We're getting the family together.
We're getting everyone together on this one. We've got the nephew, we got the uncle. Say hello, Kiefer.
Hello.
No, you're supposed to say hello, Kiefer.
Well, hello, Kiefer.
Well, thank you. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is the
in your pants.
That was the easiest setup. I mean,
Little Rocket Man.
I mean, that was a Burns and that was
Burns and
Allen setup, man. That was so right there. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. Anyway, so with this particular podcast, we will do the news stories. However, we're not gonna dwell too much on that. Hopefully, we're gonna get into a couple of the interesting things about Christmas. Not only our personal favorite Christmas memories and stories, but also some of the weird traditions and what they mean or where they came from. But with that, let's get to the news, because the news is what this is about. It's two brothers figuring shit out in the news, and again, another fucking weird week. So let's go.
Well, first off, in the news, I think we should bring up something nice.
Well, that's nice
and
of
that
you.
Would be an invasive species of crabs known as the European green crab, which is plaguing the west coast of the United States for years. However,
where's the cutesy?
Yeah, this sounds horrific. Green crabs.
It is horrific.
If your crabs are green, don't seek a doctor, just end it.
At least shove a tampon in there so they can go bungee jumping.
Jesus Christ, didn't see that one coming. And go. It's fucking off the rails already.
These harmful invaders have cost tens of millions of dollars in trying to prevent them, trying to solve the problem when a natural problem solver arrived.
Guessing it's a predator?
Or is it the crabs?
No, not the crabs themselves, but rather an adorable, fluffy, and hungry friend showed up.
Is it a seal?
No, it is not, but it is a sea otter.
Oh, I love sea otters.
Developed a taste for these crabs.
Oh, so now all they got to do is get a bunch of sea otters in the area, and they're going to clear that shit out.
They got their own blue lobster.
What is starting to happen.
I love it.
Because the crabs have taken away breeding grounds for the Dungeness and the king crab. And now the otters have stepped in, who don't like those crabs, the Dungeness and king crab, but is now eating the green crab.
And you know what's cute about that story? Is they're doing it on their back and they're eating off their belly like they always do.
That's actually the photo.
It's
an otter with one of the green crabs.
I fucking love otters because they're like, look, I don't have a table, but I got a nice flat belly.
They're both adorable and vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They'll fuck you up.
Otters can be assholes. They are actually
That's a t-shirt right there, or a bumper sticker. Otters can be assholes.
Yeah. Otters will actually take a female from a group of otters and basically blackmail that female for other females so they can fuck them.
I don't think that's being an asshole. I think that's being pretty good problem solvers. Like, look, we're not letting you go until you get all my buddies laid. Now, there's two ways we can do this. It can be you, or you can start texting your little otter bitch friends. But
Or
before this night's over.
You could be Piper Perry surrounded by a bunch of otter penises.
Before this night is over, they're getting some otter pussy. I mean, that's really what it boils down
The
to.
night is over.
I'm gonna bang me a little otter.
You want me or the otter penis?
All right. So this was one, I know that you've got this one queued up, but it was one that took me a bit by surprise, and it was Trump's announcement of...
He is threatening to retake the Panama Canal.
Now, my first thought on that was, seriously, what the fuck are you even talking about? That's like saying, we're going to take over Canada and they're going to be the 51st state. Oh, well, fuck, he already said that, didn't he? Mm-hmm. But it's like, in my head, I thought that it was as fucking nutty as that, because I knew, if my history serves me well, Jimmy Carter had kind of like signed off on Panama taking full control of that during his administration. And it's been that way ever since.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1977.
Yeah, and I guess there is a provision in that says if they start any fuckery, we can take it back. And I think that that's what he's trying to do. He is under the impression that we are, and I don't know, maybe we are getting fucked by Panama as far as like, you know, ships coming through, freighters coming through. Maybe they're having to pay more or whatever. But is that because...
Like we aren't the richest country in the world.
Well, even if...
Whine, whine, cry, cry.
Yeah, but even if you... look, just because you're the richest country in the world, I have a little different view on that, okay? I used to think that way as far as like, you know, you're a big fucking country. You can afford that. But then I started to think about it from a personal kind of point of view. And I thought about it from, oh, okay, let's say I won the lottery. What is the number one thing you hear from lottery winners is they were just inundated by friends and family members and even just acquaintances all saying the same thing. You got the money, help a brother out. And they did. And then they ended up broke. Mm-hmm. So, you know, no matter how big the pot of cash or the pot of gold is, there is a bottom to that pot. Now, if you can save along the way, sure, great. But is this a news story that anyone has heard of before, like fuckery in the Panama Canal prior to Trump?
If that's the concern, I'm just saying, Bernie did say, Elon has a really good idea. He's planning on cutting $2 billion worth of spending. I know where he could take $2 billion from. It's the U.S. military.
That might be the best
beautiful
fucking Bernie Sanders I have ever heard.
I am once again asking for your help. My mittens are warm. My head is hot.
My mittens are warm. My head is hot. Oh, that's fucking hysterical. Oh shit! This is why we have him as a guest. This is why we have him as a guest. He brings just that little bit,
a little bit of impression comedy every once in a while.
Every once in a while, yeah. So I don't know, man. All right,
that's gonna be a short, a short reel on Facebook.
It should be
and YouTube.
Yes, you're gonna cut that, please, and make that happen. The thing of it is I don't know. Okay, maybe that is a good idea. So I've always, in both of you know, and our audience knows, I've been, no matter how much I disagree with Trump's policies or dislike him as a human being, because he, to me, is nothing more than shit on a shoe. But any president, and I've said this multiple times to everyone.
A green crab and an otter belly.
A green crab and an otter belly. My view has always been and will always be that even a broken clock is right twice a day. Interestingly, where I think Trump has done something right or is saying that he's going to do something right, whether he accomplishes it or not, is based on the clock. So he said that he wants to get rid of daylight savings. I am totally for that. So even if it's Trump that does it, I'll give him the credit because he deserves it if he gets rid of it. Fucking Biden didn't get rid of it. You know, Obama didn't get rid of it. It's such an out-of-date thing. It should go the way of the dinosaur. Now, when you get to Panama, though, and again, maybe I'm just not educated on this. I didn't know that there was a problem. Anyone know? Or is this
No,
something that you would
no,
only
I don't-
know?
I don't often get things traveling through the Panama Canal.
Well, I think
I've
you
got
actually get more
breaking
than you
news.
think. Yeah, I hate to break.
Trump is now threatening to retake the Sault Ste. Marie Canal.
Oh, is he? Because the price of pasties went up too much, and dried fish,
All I want is my
whitefish.
smoked salmon.
No, it wouldn't even be that. I want
No, it wouldn't.
I want
It would
some
be
smoked.
pasties.
It would be
Yeah.
pasties, and it would be smoked whitefish, because that's all they have up there. Whitefish Bay,
Eats fish. Come on.
Yeah,
It would
no.
be a filet of fish.
maybe, and even at that, that's no. He does like to
Hey,
fillet
say
a
what
fish.
you will. Best bluegill I've ever had was in the UP.
I don't doubt that. They make them different there, son.
I prefer
Yep.
the smallmouth bass.
So getting back to this Panama thing, I don't know if he's right or wrong on it. So I don't necessarily feel comfortable condemning him as a fucking moron on this one.
Just wants the cocaine down there.
Maybe. I mean, look, maybe.
Cocaine for the people.
That's right.
I don't understand why cocaine's not legal. Honestly, you both just gave me
little
the
too
same
much
fucking
fun.
look. You both just gave me the same look. You both.
You know I don't believe in prohibition, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, well, that's the reason more than anything is I don't think that if
You wouldn't have fent in your Coke if it was just legal and regulated.
exactly
Yeah, that's true.
you would know the purity of the cocaine that you were snorting or smoking if it were legal. And I honestly do believe that when it comes to drugs, yes, no matter what it is that you make legal, in certain areas of Michigan right now, you can get magic mushrooms through dispensaries, which I think is fantastic. That I'm definitively a person of, if it grows natural, it should be legal. And let's face it, fucking magic mushrooms are hysterical. They grow on cow shit.
Look at Portugal. Portugal legalized all drugs, and instances of overdoses dropped by like over 50% in the first year. People going into rehab for addictive drugs went through the roof, and the, what would you call it, recidivism
Mhm.
rate
Mhm.
of returning to your addiction relapse rate dropped.
But
Yeah,
that's
'Cause
that's
they're
always
not going to jail anymore. They're going to rehab.
well, and that's
no.
always been my point. That's always been my point. You have got to get now, mind you, there are some people who, no matter what kind of treatment, no matter what kind of opportunity, no matter what's legal or illegal, they'll find a way to abuse it. If you made food made with corn derivatives,
Like
Okay.
we do.
like we do, okay, and almost everything that we eat, if it's in a box or in a bag, has some sort of
Full of high fructose corn syrup.
exactly.
Yep.
If you made that
The most
illegal,
addictive,
if you made that illegal, okay,
which we should.
we definitely should. That's the drug. High fructose corn syrup is the drug.
But then you would be admitting that the U.S. food industry is in cahoots with the U.S. medicine industry.
Well, I am admitting that. I am absolutely
No,
admitting that.
not you, the government.
No. Let's get back to me. It's all about me. This is about me right now. This is literally the point that I'm making. Is I'm not somebody that is all wrapped up in healthy foods and veganism or any of that shit like that. Okay, but what I am wrapped up in is the fact that with good intention, I should be able to eat healthy. And I should be able to get that from my local grocery store. But
It should be as hard to eat unhealthy as it is to eat healthy in modern America.
exactly. And I would
Yes.
actually switch those parameters, and I would say it should be easier to eat healthy than it should be to eat unhealthy. So until you're willing to tell me that as a Food and Drug Administration, you're going to take high fructose corn syrup out of the mix, which is going to drop the obesity rate, which is going to drop the diabetic rate, which is going to drop heart issues, which is going to drop all these different things, right? Just by removing that and saying you can't do it that way anymore, right?
Diabetes drops overnight.
Overnight. So until you are willing to do that, I'm not interested in your views on drugs. I
But
think
no,
you're wrong.
We have to have raw milk.
Yeah. We're gonna go with raw milk, which we know we know has the potential to create issues in your gut.
How dare you suggest that I boil my milk?
Have any of you guys had creamline milk?
No.
Do you know what that is?
No.
Nope.
Creamline milk, it's very popular in Vermont, along with raw milk.
Vermont.
Creamline milk it's a bottle of milk, obviously, but the cream is left in the milk just enough where it creates a line so that you get a bottle of
You got to
creamline.
shake it up.
You can shake it up. It's more rich. They have it in chocolate and strawberry varieties.
Sounds divine.
And plain, but you spoon off the cream to put in your coffee, and then you can have the milk.
Okay. Little bit of a sidebar. We're going to take this choo-choo train off the track for just a moment. I have a confession. Yeah, it's not good. I'm not proud of this.
You like to masturbate with cream.
Well, yeah, but that's not what I was talking about.
Make your own butter with the salt.
Look, churning, churning, churning. Keep your penis burning. Rawhide. The
Raw dog.
We did an episode on favorite cereals, and if you recall, I said I have not had cereal in quite some time, probably about 2 years at this point.
That's about to change. I just got gifted 2 boxes of Captain Crunch.
Well, you're gonna fucking ruin me because a box of Frosted Flakes ended up in my possession, and last night it wasn't pretty. I'm just saying. It wasn't
Were
pretty.
you laying on the couch with a bowl on your belly like an otter?
I was totally ottering it. I wasn't even on the couch, dude. I was on the
did
floor.
you have that?
I was
on
in
the kitchen.
Monster
on the
cereal?
kitchen. I didn't make it. I was able to reach up and close the fucking refrigerator door and just lay there like an otter with a big bowl on my belly and
Like David Hasselhoff drunk on the floor of his bathroom.
it was as bad. It was as bad. I am so glad I did not FaceTime anyone.
I don't know why that reminded me of this, but at one point or another, I remember seeing, and this made me question where we have what we have become as Americans. One time, I've never seen them since. I saw caffeinated Little Debbie donuts in line at Walmart.
What?
Ah. Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
never saw those, but now I'm going to start looking. I'm going to look. All right. So I didn't mean to get the choo-choo train off the track.
Did you ever have that monster cereal that I got you?
Yes. Prick.
Okay.
And then I shit green for fucking 4 days because of all the dye.
Was it the Frankenberries?
Oh, no. It was the
Yeah.
monster mashup, right? Was that what it was called?
It was I don't remember the name of it, but it's basically caramel apple.
Yeah. So whatever that monster, it wasn't Count Chocula, it wasn't Boo Berry, it wasn't Frankenberry. It was
The
this
Monster
other one.
Mash?
It was a monster mashup, yeah. And yeah,
It was a graveyard smash.
the monster mash.
Monster mash.
Even if no one listens, we have so much fun. Yeah, so
I have come to the conclusion that I would like to have Trump or Vice President Elon play $5 Switch. Are you familiar with $5 Switch?
no.
No.
Well, let me enlighten you. $5 Switch is where you put a thumb in your butt and a thumb in your mouth, and you get $5 for each time you switch.
No, I got one better. You get all of the cabinet picks, right? You get them in a sauna, and you play Gollum. Do you
Yeah.
know Gollum?
No, let's hear it.
Mm.
So Gollum is everyone is sitting naked on the bench in a sauna, and
Yeah.
whoever is Gollum will pick an asshole to stick a finger in,
Oh.
and then all the other players have to
My
guess who has a
precious.
finger in their ass. Everyone else has to guess who is the one ring.
That's awesome.
Whoever guesses it right is the next Gollum.
Oh, that's funny. That's fucking disgusting, but funny. The only thing I can contribute is, you know how they have Rusty Trombone, all those fucking weird things, Donkey Punch,
Dirty
shit like that.
Sanchez.
Dirty
Yeah.
Sanchez, yeah. So like all that shit. I actually came up with a tequila sunrise.
Oh boy.
Tequila
Oh, yeah?
sunrise.
Sounds so pleasant. How are you going to ruin it?
So you feed her a bunch of tequila and then put a little bit of hot sauce on her asshole and let her scoot across the carpet until sunrise. Oh shit.
When did you get a dog? There's so many snail trails over there. Oh, I don't have a
It's
dog.
not a dog. It's not a dog. It's not a dog. It's not a dog. All right. Speaking of dogs, let's get to Elon.
Well,
Because
Musk
it is.
and SpaceX
Well, hold on a second.
allegedly.
Yeah,
sorry.
just as an intro, to this. Apparently, it has gotten a little bit under Trump's skin that people are calling him Vice President Trump and Elon President Elon, and he couldn't handle that.
It's just the successful iteration of the business plot. This happened in the 30s. It failed in the 30s, and it's happening now.
Okay, all right. You're saying that from the World War II perspective, that we've had this
World War II. There were a bunch of fascist business business executives, and like essentially what today would be like our venture capitalist types and our Silicon Valley types, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they
the robber barons.
They plotted to overthrow FDR because they didn't like him being such a commie by, I don't know, giving us rights.
Mm.
And it failed then, but this is just a successful iteration of it. That's all it is.
Well, then we have nothing more to talk about. And this has been another Elsie's Little Pickles.
We need to get a clip of the more you know music.
Yes. I will find that. But apparently there was an issue with Elon and SpaceX.
Yes. Musk and SpaceX allegedly violated national security rules. They are, in fact, under investigation. Well, there are federal agencies that have launched at least 3 investigations to determine whether SpaceX and Vice President Musk have complied with reporting protocols designed to protect state secrets.
All right.
It won't matter because he's in Trump's hip pocket, or Trump's in his hip pocket. I don't think that this is going to go anywhere. I don't think it's going to matter one bit. And I would venture to say
it's going to get suppressed at best and just canceled.
Yeah, I would venture
playing pocket pool with each other.
I would venture to say that
little mushroom.
Elon's participation in the Trump presidency has more to do with what Elon feels is in his businesses and his own best interest than it has anything to do with him actually agreeing with Trump on a lot of things. Like, I could see Elon saying, no, we can cut the federal budget by $2 trillion. He's not going to do that. He's not going to be able to do that. But if he does do that, really the only, and like you said earlier, Bernie said it best, like, take
cut it from the military, but they're never going to do that.
And that's the thing is how much,
which is, if you remember, if the listeners remember from the fascism episodes, that is a key part of fascism, is having a strong facade, and to other countries that means the military, and to citizens of the country that means police.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to think anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I like when it comes, the only thing I can say for certain is that Elon's in this for his own best interest, because just between election and today, I think his net worth went up somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 billion. Is that?
Yeah. He put what, like 500 million into the election, something like that, and came out $100 billion richer. Yeah.
So like it's almost chump change. This is money that this is change that you're pulling out of your pocket and throwing into, the Salvation Army red bucket.
Billionaire.
No, you can't. I'm sorry. I don't think you really can, because at the end of the day, they're businessmen. And at the end of the day, they look at it and go, how do I make more money? Like when every decision that you're making, whether it's a government,
profits over people,
that's what it is. It's always profits over people. And what kills me about that is if you really think about it, money is nothing more than paper we've agreed to give a denomination to that we all respect.
Careful, you're getting into some commie territory right there.
I know I am. I know. How would that possibly
can we at
happen?
least
Easy
agree
there.
that Elon is just an oligarch now?
Yeah, no, oh no, I mean Trump won, and it was immediately an oligarchy like that. Just and for anyone that doesn't know, an oligarchy is like an aristocracy where you have the upper class that rules everything, except in an aristocracy, it's more to do with your bloodline, and in an oligarchy, it has only to do with your pocketbook.
Well, I don't think anyone could have said that better than you. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that could have been said any better, to be honest with you. I think what I question is, when it comes to Elon, I've heard plenty of interviews that are 2-3 years old or whatever, where he talks about how much he does not like Russia. Yet,
Goddamn Russian agent.
It seems that way lately, doesn't it? Because
Yeah,
he's gotten a
very much.
little bit cuddly with Putin and a little bit prickly with Zelensky.
Yep.
You know, so I don't.
Because it's threatening his business interests.
Well, maybe that's the case. You know what I mean? I don't follow Elon close enough to be able to his businesses rather close enough to legitimately say so with any authority. But it sure seems that way. You know, and I look, we did last episode we did about the alien orbs or drones or whatever the fuck they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to wonder, okay?
It was SpaceX.
Well, again, was it?
Except for the one that the dude was shooting tracers at. That was a FedEx plane.
Was it a FedEx plane?
Yes. It was.
He's fucking trying to take out FedEx. Fuck you, FedEx. I watched that Tom Hanks movie. You suck.
You're not invading me. Not in my garden state.
You know that fucking volleyball is the reason why we have pedophiles.
Watch out. I'll call Tony Soprano on you.
It's just ridiculous. But again, this is one of those things where I start to wonder. I mean, like, how much influence does Elon have globally with leaders? And is he positioning
He's the
himself?
richest man in the world. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. Like,
Well, I know
an issue.
Yeah, that's that's the
he's
problem.
Not the richest yet, but he's getting there.
He is he would
I
tell
thought he
you
was the richest as of right now, but he is slated to be
No.
the first trillionaire.
In North America, he is the richest, but not.
and he will tell you that Putin has
yeah, I guess you do have like Saudi princes out there.
Yeah, he would tell you that between Saudi princes and Putin that he is not the richest. And he will tell you that there's people out there hiding their money and their how much they're worth.
You know, I heard a
security
fun
reasons.
stat. I heard a fun stat today. Did you know that if billionaires in America were killed by gun violence at the same rate as U.S. children, we'd be out of billionaires in less than 2 months?
Is that all it takes?
You know what?
12
I
a day.
don't-
12
I-
kids a day.
I do not believe you. I think this should be tested.
Yeah, scientific
We need to
method.
set up an actual experiment with
Scientific method. No, we are not promoting the murder of billionaires. It is simply,
I don't
humor.
promote murder, but Luigi knew what he was doing.
yeah. Well, that's he's turned into a modern day Robin Hood if ever there was one.
Yeah, he's up there with Snowden for me. U.S.
Well-
hero. I don't have to agree with their politics, but what they did, American hero status.
I don't agree with their. I don't have to agree with their politics. I don't have to like the way that they like. I'm not somebody that believes, generally speaking, that violence is the answer. However, as you and I have discussed, Colton, this did get to a point where it's like we've tried talking to you. We've
tried being nice. We've tried protesting. We've tried passing legislation. We've tried all of the nonviolent, all of the nice ways.
and
You're
you had
not leaving us a choice.
Yeah, and your pockets were deeper because of our donations to your business that
Or
we have
campaign.
or whatever, and you have done nothing but fuck us. So I do get the logic of I'm going to make an example out of the number one healthcare company CEO who shoots this shit down more than anyone else.
And it was right after they announced Blue Cross Blue Shield, I do believe it was.
Yeah, they were only going to cover anesthesia for 30 minutes for a surgery. Yeah. And then they rescinded that as soon as the dust settled.
Yeah. Oh, wait, a CEO got killed? Yeah. Well, no, we're good with making sure that you are completely knocked out for the entire time that you are being cut.
No, they should be nervous. They deserve to be nervous. They've made us nervous for our whole lives.
Deserve to be nervous.
They've made us nervous and anxious for our whole lives. They deserve a little bit of it.
Well, there you go. That's the ELP stance then. They've made us nervous our entire lives. Fuck you. Get some fucking bulletproof armor, bitches. I think
thoughts and prayers don't seem to work, but maybe the billionaires should get bulletproof backpacks, or I don't know, maybe wear something less revealing to not provoke someone.
You saw what he was wearing. He wanted it. You saw that blazer. He was asking for it.
Oh, it's not going to be a blazer. It's going to be a hospital gown.
Yeah.
They have to all wear hospital gowns with their asses hanging out.
I think that we're in a potentially moving.
I thought you were going to say we're in a pickle.
No, yeah, well, we are in a pickle. It's an ELP, Elsie little pickle. The next 4 years, I think that you're going to see, and because it's a republic, it's just the same. If it was a Democrat in office, they would be, they'd be blaming.
There wouldn't be a meaningful difference. No,
there's not a meaningful difference anymore. But the thing is that the communication of that, the optics of it, will be for the next 4 years. All this violence, they're going to try to say it's liberals. They're going to try, and maybe it will be. I don't know what was his name again?
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mastacholi. I don't know what his politics are at all. If he's liberal or conservative.
From what I've seen, he's a radical centrist.
Oh my god!
How do you be a radical centrist?
Well, he was like super into RFK and also was like supportive of RFK being in Trump's administration until he heard like a couple of things that he didn't like. And then he also supported a couple Democrats at one point or another. He's just a radical centrist.
Yeah, so he
was very jealous of his brother Mario getting all the attention.
Well, yeah, he saw the mushroom.
He wanted Peach's peach.
All right.
What's the little mushroom dude?
Toad.
Toad.
Yeah.
Toad.
That's his little. What does that call the prize? Christ,
he fucks the princess. That's the prize.
Wahoo!
Yeah, and he's stoned. And he's stoned on mushrooms. Wahoo! Woohoo!
Oh no!
Oh, ow! No.
In other news, we have the wife of Syria's deposed president Bashar al-Assad, Asma al-Assad, has filed for divorce from her husband.
So let me get this straight.
While in Moscow.
Mashallah.
let me get this straight.
And she's kind of cute.
Is she?
She is going to get over him by getting underneath another dude very
quickly. Interesting though, when you lose ownership of a country due to a civil war that you could have prevented, and you've kept your wife
piece of shit,
and you've kept your wife hostage within that country for 10 plus years. She has had a lot of time to think about what she wants to do when she gets the opportunity to break out. And this opportunity to break out, clearly, she knew what she was thinking all along. I don't think this is one of those things that she's like, oh no, I don't want to live in Russia, so now I divorce you.
All I gotta say is assalamu alaikum.
Malaka salam. Bashar has not only lost his wife
and his country,
and the country, and this also
anymore.
Makes me think.
And he had like 20
because
fucking.
He's also lost
his sport
270 kilograms of gold,
and his sports car collection, and his house, his sports car collection, which was, he had a lot of fucking high end cars.
Yeah,
he has also lost. Well, these are frozen assets. 270 kilograms of gold, $2 billion, and 18 apartments in Moscow. Now, my question is,
How do you lose the apartments in
I just
Moscow?
see 18 apartments. Why do you have 18 apartments?
His money got seized by the people. He can't pay rent anymore.
I don't
And
know. I don't know why you would have
that also makes me wonder, does he have apartments elsewhere? However, he cannot leave Moscow, the
No.
city limits.
No, he's stuck in Moscow. But Moscow's getting fucked, aren't they?
Well,
Not
yeah.
quite. Not quite. They're getting tagged here and there, from what I understand, but it's not to the point where it's like, okay, Moscow is being sieged.
How long is that going to take, do you think? You know what I mean? Like there's going to be a point where the worm turns either in favor of Ukraine or in opposition of Ukraine. And many
it's
people
basically a
think
stalemate right now.
Yeah, it's a stalemate in many ways. And many people think that that's going to be the 21st of January. Like that's when
Trump can be like, okay, we're going to stop supporting Ukraine. And
I think that that's what's going to happen.
Slide some support to Russia.
Yeah, I do. I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that that's a huge mistake, but I think that that's what's going to happen. I think the problem that Trump has an aversion to war, which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing.
He likes to say that, but that's not true.
Well, let's give the benefit of the doubt for the sake of this particular conversation. Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt that he actually doesn't want
quadrupled drone striking in the Middle East over Obama, and Obama was known as bombs away Obama.
Yeah. No, again, I agree with all of that, but let's pretend, let's take him at his word, and let's pretend that that's true for a moment. How is not putting Russia on their heels not beneficial for the United States? That's my question. Like, take the nuclear aspect out of it. Let's just talk about this from the point of view of a legit ground war between Ukraine and,
it just
Russia.
puts our interests in Western Europe, because then it puts them all on edge. France already said we're going to go nuclear if Russia takes Ukraine. So, all it does is harm our interests in Western Europe.
Well, I don't think it just harms our interest in Western Europe. I think it harms our interest in NATO. I think it harms our interest across the board. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if Trump actually did pull us out of NATO, which would be a huge, huge fucking mistake. There's a reason why NATO exists, and there's a reason why the United States is basically the king head of that. And
I'm no fan of NATO, to be clear.
I'm not either.
NATO's not a good organization, but it is better than every man for himself.
That's my point. I'm not afraid to accept the good instead of the perfect, because I don't think you get to perfect when you're talking all these different countries. I don't think that that's a possibility to get to perfect. So you have to take what
talking international relations.
Yeah, you have to take what you can get. You have to take what you can get. And I think the big mistake that a lot of countries are making right now is this idea of not being a globalistic community. I think that we are getting to the point, specifically now with AI, and on top of that, with the supercomputers. I heard somewhere that Google their supercomputer or whatever, like they're talking about building nuclear plants to be able to power that fucking thing. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it is.
Well,
maybe it's not.
What was it? It was something like calculations that would have taken like hundreds of years are being done in 5 minutes now.
Right. And I think that that's all positive. But by the same token, are we creating an artificial god? And that's where I think it becomes a problem. In the short term, though, the human animosities between countries that will be aggravated by the Trump policies are detrimental to our future peace. Whether he realizes that or not. He thinks that, waving a big dick and holding his carrot are going to get respect and all this. I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I think that he's not as respected globally as he would like to be.
He's absolutely not. But I that kind of gave me an idea. I want to put it out there and see what you guys think. What if this is the death knell of nationalism? What if this is the beginning of a more cooperative globalism.
Well, the only way,
we're already on globalism in a sense to where we're trading internationally, we're trading globally.
I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back prior to when that was the norm. When Reagan spoke to the UN and said, "What if we had a threat that forced us to come together?" And he was speaking of aliens.
Come together
right now. Over him.
Over me.
No, but this is the reason why I think, and I know this was not part of the topic that we had discussed that we were going to talk about, and we'll get to Christmas momentarily. But when you look at the idea of these orbs or these drones or whatever, is it not possible that this is all man-made, but it's meant to be a scare tactic to put us in a position of us humans of any stripe, of any country, of any color, of any religious belief or any background to have to coalesce and be more concerned about preserving us and fighting them, even if it's an imaginary them. I think that that's really what the problem
with that
is going on.
I do not believe that even the most advanced secret technology that any country in the world has would hold a candle to something that could travel interplanetary or intergalactic. Because you're talking a level of technology to do that if they can travel like that, what kind of weapons do they have? I don't think that that's necessarily the play, let's say.
Okay,
I don't think
you're saying that. Well, hold on. Let's back up.
What a weird situation where if they could travel like that, but only showed up with potato guns.
Yeah, exactly.
I got your spud. I'm going to pop a spud in your ass.
I do have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Some actual breaking news.
Okay.
OpenAI whistleblower Sukir Balaji was found dead at age 26.
Do we have a cause?
They're saying, wink, wink, suicide.
Okay.
But,
so
it was called in for welfare check anonymously.
All right. So who is this person again?
He was the whistleblower for OpenAI with Musk.
Oh,
okay. So a little bit of a Boeing situation, maybe a little bit of an Epstein going on.
We can go deeper than that. We can go the Chinese chick. There's a lot of places we could go with that as far as like where that falls in the conspiracy theories or where that falls into reality. You're seeing unprecedented issues with AI as far as like those who know, those who speak up, and those who shut the fuck up. And at this point with OpenAI, Musk isn't really involved with that company anymore.
He still holds co-ownership.
But his actual participation, I think, is almost nil.
That I couldn't talk on.
Remind me, does OpenAI power Grok?
No.
On Twitter? Okay.
No.
Ironically, no.
That's the interesting thing.
So Grok is its own non-functional thing. Okay.
Yeah. So when Elon took over Twitter and made it X, he started his own AI processing within Twitter because he was unhappy with the fact of what was going on with ChatGPT. And because
he wanted a piece of that pie.
Well, yeah, he did, but he's got a piece of that pie. Like, he was one of the main investors in it, so he's got a lot of stock in it, I'm sure.
What better way to create controversy and cash than to artificially create it with cornering the market between ChatGPT and Grok?
I don't think that he's going to be able to do that. I think Google's going to be the one.
No, I think he was trying.
I think he was trying. Absolutely. I totally think he's trying. I think ChatGPT has got a better chance of success overall, but you have Google, their AI, I think, is probably going to be the one that comes up as superior. It seems, at least.
The Genesis? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's called Genesis.
I mean, they've been working on that for a while, right? So
Yeah,
would
they
make
have,
sense.
and they were
With
they
the
actually.
AI, once they get quantum computing, things are going to change in this world.
It's over. It's
well,
over.
Well,
We're
hold on.
cooked.
Look,
We're cooked.
I don't think we're cooked necessarily.
see, here's the thing: is I get consistently and constantly blamed for being optimistic, like the eternal optimist of like.
I'm so pessimistic about AI. In fact, I pride myself on, a lot of college students use AI to either get, even if it's just get like an outline for this or that assignment. I pride myself on doing my own work because I think it's important.
Well, you should, because that's how you learn.
Exactly.
There's a difference
Exactly.
between getting remember when you were in karate, they had what was called belt mills.
Yeah.
And these were just karate dojos that you could go, and as long as you paid on time with, pretty much every year you were going to get bumped up a belt, whether you were ready or not. That's not the situation that you were in, and that was part of the reason you got frustrated with it, because you were fucking like, come on, this has been a long time now. This is 10 years or whatever.
I was just over it. I'm
yeah.
interpersonally a nonviolent person.
But with this, I think I totally lost where I was going with that. I do believe that being optimistic, no matter how bad the circumstances are, you can be cynical about it. So I think that there's a difference between being cynical about something and being pessimistic.
I'm outwardly pessimistic.
Okay, so I'm not, and I'll tell you why. I believe that we have no choice but to accept the technological advances that are being made in the world. They come our way whether we like it or not. And I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to a point where you can't even imagine, okay? The invention of the ATM. And I remember...
Okay.
S to mouth?
No, S to mouth. I'm talking about automatic teller machines, which came way later. I mean, ass to mouth has been around for a long time.
Millennia.
Melania? What?
Melania. That's what I said, yeah? Melania, ass to mouth? Right.
Trump looks like he would like a good ass lick.
He would be so happy if he had that happen.
Switch.
The ATM machine, I'll never forget it. When it really came into existence, there was hesitancy. There was, do you remember this, Keith? Dad going to the ATM and it was an event. I'm going to the ATM. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
The credit union.
Yeah, I'm going to
12 and gainer.
I'm going to Credit Union 1. Yeah. And it was an event for him because he was using technology. Like this was all you're doing is putting a fucking PIN number in and telling it how much you fucking want out. And that was like a big leap for that generation. So when you're talking Grandpa or Uncle Joe, the idea of them using an ATM, I mean, that was so foreign to them.
For what it's worth, I will not deny that AI at the higher level is useful. I'm not that cynical or that pessimistic.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
I recognize that there is medical uses for it that have been proven. I recognize that there have been technological uses for it that have been proven, so on and so forth, right? I recognize that at the higher level. But the bullshit that they're giving us down here are us plebes. I would rather it just not exist. It's be restricted technology.
Here's the thing is that like every piece of technology, no matter what the companies actually hold, they distribute it at a slow pace so that the general public can acclimate. I don't like that either.
Yeah, there's a moment. There's a measurement of time that's called refractory, and that is for the boners using AI to have time to recover. The refractory.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that, but you're absolutely right.
They try to release technology at a pace that you
have time to get a hard on again for it.
The least intelligent person or the least technological person can use it.
Right.
That's the whole point.
And that's where we're at. But
speaking,
hold on, just to kind of finish this topic up. I get why they do that. All right. There was a period of time where you could live without a credit card. Now you cannot.
Yes.
There was a period
debit card for that matter.
Yeah, there was a period of time where you didn't have to have a debit card. You cannot live without a debit card.
Right.
There was a period of time where you could actually live without really a bank account. Those days are done. Like, they have found ways to socially pressure you into making decisions that you don't want to make because you have no other option. You cannot get a hotel room. Or,
manufactured consent.
Yeah.
But on an individual level rather than a society level.
But they do that at a slower pace. And that's what I'm afraid of that they're doing with AI. This is a slow pace push to force us all to understand and accept it and be able to utilize it in a way that they're dictating will be beneficial for us. All right.
You know who I blame for this?
Me?
Yes, I do blame you.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
You specifically.
I'm pretty sure nowadays. Yeah, you specifically.
I know.
And
I
that
knew
is
it.
because I'm pretty sure that the company that pushed for, well, if you want to register and do this, we need a credit card on file. It's going to be Columbia House.
Yeah.
You and your damn 12 CDs or cassette tapes for 1 penny.
Look, I fucked that up for everyone. I admit it. Just like I fucked up against Lions versus Bills by checking in on the game. This
You
last
didn't watch
game,
Sunday at all.
I didn't watch Sunday at all. I didn't even check the score until after the game was over, and they won. So I'm taking the blame. I'm happy to
Lions
do it.
are going to the Super Bowl. That means hell has frozen over.
Yes, and
Well, it's not a given yet.
Well,
there's still some good news coming.
Hold on. If they do go to the Super Bowl, which I think they will, I think Colton is right. It is proof that hell is frozen over. The apocalypse is about to happen.
Jesus will come down on January 22nd.
Yeah. The orbs are from outer space. They're here to take over the planet. I mean, like, all these things are true. But I need to be able to be positive. I need to be able to be focused in a happy way. I need to, because obviously Christmas is 2 days away as of this recording. Christmas Day is 2 days away. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. And it's, to me, the worst fucking holiday ever. However, apparently, the House Ethics Committee did want me to have a great Christmas. So they gave me a gift.
And on that note.
And they gave me a gift. Tell me what my gift is, Keith.
It was the night before Christmas.
Well, it was actually the night before Christmas.
Stop interrupting.
Sorry.
It was the night before Christmas. And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, but a 17-year-old girl trying to get away from her louse. Matt Gaetz tried to fight it, but it got released. And now he's very embarrassed.
I don't think he is. I think he kind of...
all were at peace.
Yeah.
He fought this.
Oh, I know he fought it.
Late. Yeah, he did not want this out.
I don't think he did either, and I think it's the entire reason why he called on Kevin McCarthy to have that vote. I totally agree with all that.
He was not letting it down.
No, and he's on
every interview. He brought it up.
Yeah, McCarthy was upset. He was mad.
Oh yeah, because if somebody got you fired from the job that you've been working for your entire fucking political career because you could not or would not stop an ethics investigation into somebody who you knew did all the things that were in that investigation because he showed you the fucking videos of him fucking some chick on the house floor or you know what I mean? Like, I get why he's pissed. I get why McCarthy's pissed. I get why Gaetz is pissed too. But what a fucking gift for me. And this is really what it's all about this holiday season. Me. Because I never get the great gift. I've never gotten the great gift. I hate Christmas. I'm not a fan of the fucking holiday.
That might change.
Well, that's my point. That's going to change. It changed.
I cooked something up. Don't you worry.
All right. We'll see about that. But in lieu of whatever it is that you've got cooked up, I got the greatest Christmas gift ever this year. And that was the Matt Gaetz investigation being released.
Yeah, so he's
and that
officially a pedo.
That
He's officially a
smarmy
pedo.
motherfucker is a
Well,
pedo.
that's a word that I take great umbrance with because it's never used correctly.
Well, technically, he's an ephebophile, but when
Yes.
you make that distinction, you sound like a pedo.
And he's
I like
so
to
right.
say that
He's
I am
so
a
right.
wordsmith. I'm just one of those people that words matter.
No, you're right. They do matter.
George Carlin. I'm like George Carlin. Words matter.
No, you're absolutely
People-
right.
People need to get used to not driving on parkways and parking in driveways. It does not make sense.
So
But
here,
I digress.
here's the thing.
He has proceeded to engage in prostitution with underage girls, including statutory rape, obviously, illicit drug use, acceptance
Trafficking.
of impermissible gifts, sex trafficking, a provision of special favors and privileges, and obstruction of Congress. Now, the Ethics Committee was supposed to give the report to the DOJ. Somehow that didn't happen. Almost as if other Republicans tried to repress the story.
Well, even to the
repress the
point where
investigation.
he quit Congress, thinking that was going to put a pin
Yes.
in
Well,
it.
I think he quit Congress, A, because of that, and B, because he thought if he did, he might get the votes for.
I
furniture.
agree. I think it was a two.
Yes.
There were much
It was like,
more.
hey, I'm gonna remove myself from this situation, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. All I'm asking in return is the votes.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it was a twofold thing. I think there were probably other issues involved in that as well. But the point being, he did step away from his position, and it still happened.
And on top of that, I just want to point out, you guys really want aliens? Matt Gaetz has gotten enough plastic surgery. There's your alien.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, if anyone looks like a fucking like he came from another planet right now, it's him. He looks like a cross between Beavis and, well, nope, just Beavis with a lot of plastic surgery. I'm going to go with that. All right. So that was my Christmas gift. That was the one that's made me happy going into the holidays. And I do want to talk about holidays. I know that we're already at an hour, and usually we would be wrapping it up right now, but we got carried away.
Christmas
so
special.
It's a Christmas special, so we're going to keep going. All right. So really what I wanted to make this about, even though we're an hour in and we haven't really talked about Christmas, is Christmas.
Yeah, it'll be our Christmas gift to everybody.
Yeah. And like
Extra
I said,
lunch.
the Matt Gaetz story was just kind of the universe giving me a small Christmas gift of knowing.
They need to interview that girl. Get his sexual practices out there.
I think they did. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure I want to know what his sexual practices are. You know what I mean? Like,
He strikes me as a cock and ball torture kind of guy.
yeah.
He strikes me as wanting her to dress up as Beavis.
I don't know which one I like better. I'm not quite sure.
Baby, could you
Oh, I
put
can
the
see her.
shirt over the top of your head and just lift your arm?
So we have talked many times on this show about whether it's pornography or whatever, and I have consistently and constantly said I am not going to kink shame anyone for anything except for furries, because I just don't get that. I don't get that, because
Talk
I'm
about hairballs.
Without furries, if you get rid of furries, you get rid of basically the entire network of people holding up the internet.
well, that may be true. I'm not
No,
saying
you actually do.
I'm
You
not
actually do.
Look, I'm not saying that they can't do it. Okay, I'm saying I don't get it, and that's the only thing that I would even remotely kink shame somebody for.
All it takes is one plane to or from a furry convention.
And it's all over.
The internet's done for a month and a half.
All right, so back to Christmas, because nothing says Christmas like talking about Matt Gaetz, furries, and sexual abuse of a 17-year-old. So, what, I guess, I'm going to hit Kiefer first on this, because
Yes.
I know that you have a vast knowledge of Christmas traditions that have originated in odd places. What is your like favorite odd nugget of knowledge regarding Christmas?
I probably have two, maybe three.
Okay.
Okay.
One of my favorite ones, honestly, is, how do I explain this? Basically,
I would say that you explain this by saying that Christmas, like everything in life, is on a spectrum. It's very much like,
I think Christmas is retarded.
yeah, I kind of am.
Christmas has gender.
I think it's on a spectrum. I think it's very much like, autism or Asperger's or any of these issues. What are you hoping?
We don't call it Asperger's anymore. That's the Nazi that found it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, what do we call it? What's it called?
Just autism.
Is it just autism in general? And
Yeah,
the only reason I called
Dr. Asperger was a part of the machine of the Holocaust.
Well, interestingly,
he got made fun of, Dr. Ass Burner.
the reason why I use that is because I worked with several comedians actually, but one in particular who self-proclaimed that he had Asperger's and would approach the comedians he was working with if he hadn't worked with them before. So like when me and him first met, he came up to me and he goes, "I just want you to know I'm on the spectrum. I have Asperger's. If I'm not friendly, I apologize. But I have a hard time."
Defense of the Asperger's, there are many geniuses that had that.
Dude, this guy was fucking great.
Yeah.
As far as
Tesla.
I mean, A Beautiful Mind. I forget the guy's name, but
Yeah.
A Beautiful Mind.
well, and the thing of it was with this guy was his way of thinking was definitively within stand up. Like that's how his mind worked. You could
Einstein had Asperger's.
Oh, I didn't know that. I think
Really?
Elon has it too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that there's a reason
I
to
wouldn't put him next to Einstein, but
No, but I would say that there's a reason intellectually.
Don't say it too loud. He might try to buy the name Einstein.
There's a there's a reason intellectually. If you're somebody that is easily distracted like I am, and I would probably qualify, I bet, if I took the test for ADD. But if you're somebody who finds it difficult to focus on daily life, but finds it very easy to focus intently on things that you're interested in, which is me, I think that there's a reason to feel a bit of envy for those
Steve
that
has
have
a special interest.
Well, no, I just You jackass. When I see you, I'm fucking hitting you. But there's a genuine almost envy of that ability to focus on certain things to that degree.
Yeah, and just be the top of it.
And just own it. Like whatever that is. It doesn't matter what it is. You like are intensely focused on it and you own it, and you become very, very proficient in it. I think that's something to be envied. And I don't know where I was going with that because this choo-choo train has literally fallen off the fucking track for me.
For Christmas, favorite facts about
Oh,
origin
okay.
of Christmas.
Yes.
That's where we were.
Now go.
Well, one of them is going to be that, one, Christmas predates Christ. Thank you very much.
Saturnella.
Was celebrated by the Celts and the Vikings. I bring up Yule more than Saturnalia because of the influence on Santa Claus and modern Christmas traditions.
Yeah,
Obviously,
a lot of that came from
the Wild Hunt. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wild Hunt, but Odin would ride Sleipnir, his horse with 8 legs.
Mm-hmm.
How many reindeer did Santa Claus have? 8. It's not a coincidence. But the Wild Hunt, the Great Hunt, also known as, he would travel to the sky, rewarding people who deserved it and punishing the kids and people who did not deserve it.
Yeah, that sounds like Santa.
I got another connection with reindeer. So the origin of presents being wrapped under a fir tree or an evergreen comes from the tradition of Northern Europe, where Amanita muscaria mushrooms, a form of psychedelic mushroom, typically grow under a fir tree.
Which are ironically
And-
red and white.
Red and white, like many Christmas ornaments and Christmas wrappings.
And
And Santa.
Santa's outfit.
And
We
what
had a
the-
number of them in Vermont growing under the trees.
What the druids and shaman of Northern Europe came to realize is, A, if you eat them, you'll trip balls, but you'll also get very sick. But
Yes.
if you let the reindeer eat them and then drink reindeer piss, then you won't get sick, but you will trip.
Yeah, but that's a long way to go. Look,
Is it though?
well, yes, it is. Okay, so like, I am very, very pro expand your
I want
mind.
to see the first guy who. I wonder.
Yes.
Well,
He was just doing it.
yeah, like that. It wasn't even a dare. He's like, oh yeah, I'm in.
He didn't even know about the mushrooms. He was just like, hey,
Forget coffee in the morning.
He's like,
that reindeer looking like a really good water fountain right now.
Shit. Yeah, well, I mean, I hate to break it to you, but I wonder how that shit comes about. You know what I mean? Like, okay, forget the guy who's drinking, he's watching them eat the mushrooms. He knows he's got his target. He's got to get his cup ready.
I
And
think
he's
the
like,
alternative was the shaman would eat it and take on the worst effects, and then the people participating would drink the shaman's piss.
and how is this making
that was
this
the
better?
other way around.
How is this making this better?
It doesn't, but you know,
I mean, like,
We need more. Somebody tickle him.
quick, put his hand in warm water.
Another aspect that I really do enjoy
put his hand in warm water. Oh, fuck.
is
Oh, Jesus.
mistletoe.
Yes, I know
And,
this one.
With mistletoe in Germanic Norseman religion, Balder, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Balder.
Baldur the
Baldur the
Beautiful.
Yes. The god of light and goodness was slain by an arrow, poisoned by mistletoe. When his mother Frigga cried for him, her tears fell on the red berries, turning them white. And I think you can see where this is going. Because the white berries then became a powerful enough to resurrect Balder.
Which
Somebody
basically,
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's a huge connection between the stories of Baldur and the story of Christ.
Yes.
But even beyond that, there's a connection. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of the god or demigod, but there's a connection even to the Greek pantheon and the Roman pantheon, because I mean, all of the pantheons kind of had their own version of the same god.
yeah, but
No,
it was also a way to connect them all too. I think that
Yes.
you know, like what you see happen.
There's a reason why Zeus, Odin, and basically Yahweh all look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my point. Is that I think, and I don't know where I don't want to say where this started, but I would say that a good starting block to look at would be Alexander the Great, because he understood that it was easier to conquer foreign people by saying, no, you get to keep your religion.
Yeah, we'll just take them into our pantheon.
Right. And
or we'll find a surrogate and you can call them the one name and we'll call them the other name.
well, you do see that a lot where it's like the same Greek god versus the same Roman god. It's just a different name, but absolutely represented the same exact thing.
It's a crazy connection for you. Not to Christmas necessarily, but I recently saw a fair bit of evidence claiming that the Catholic Church, headed by the Pope, really is just a continuation of the Roman Empire, because the Catholic Church was using the same roads, it was using the same religion, because at that time the Roman Empire had switched over to Christianity.
Yeah, I mean, that would make perfect sense.
Yeah,
You know, and the idea of keeping the territory small, I think, makes sense from the point of view of religion, not necessarily a concrete. I think that when you look at Vatican City as an example, the idea of keeping the city, instead of having it be a Roman Empire, have it just be a very powerful city.
Yeah, the Catholic Empire.
Well, it was almost like they realized, oh, you know what? Much like the United States, where like we don't necessarily consider ourselves occupiers, but we have military bases all over the fucking world.
What is it, 1,600 plus military bases?
Something like that. And the idea being, we're not taking over your country, but we're here. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of the same thing.
Sideways, we're here.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of the same thing with the Roman Catholic Church, in the sense of they're not necessarily looking at it from a point of view of military power, because they got something that they think is more important and more powerful, which is spiritual power. And when you have God on your side, how can you not win? It justifies everything. It justifies all the behavior.
What is the Christian God if not Santa?
Well, that took me by surprise. Yeah, I mean, in some ways you're right, I guess, because what do you do when you want something? You pray to God. And
he knows
the difference is,
if you are spanking dead.
The difference, I think, is the amount of
trafficking children.
So be good for goodness sake. I think the difference is that it's easier to control people with a God that is all seeing rather than a government that is all powerful.
Government's all seeing too. Let's be real.
Nowadays, yeah, probably. But not as much as I would like to give them credit for, because, I mean, like, you see these instances where they are able to, as an example, Luigi Mastacholi, they were able to capture him rather quickly. The guy that set that lady on fire in the subway, they were able to capture him relatively quickly because there was a lot of video cameras, there's a lot of surveillance, there's a lot of this, a lot of that.
I think there's some kind of AI, and going back to AI, I think there's some kind of AI powered surveillance that the government is not telling us about.
Oh yeah, it's facial recognition. That's why I don't fuck around with facial recognition on my phone.
Yeah, and we're so scared of China having a social credit system.
That I would be scared of for many, many reasons, but that's a different episode.
Not that I wouldn't, but let's be real here. That's what they're doing with this surveillance state, Patriot Act. That's what they're doing here.
I think it's more what they're doing with the fucking drones, to be honest with you.
Not to mention, we have, instead of a social credit system, we just have a credit system where you can get denied housing based on
your credit score.
Your credit score instead of your social credit score.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot
there's no discernible difference. It's just an extra step.
I don't think that there is a large discernible difference, but I do think that there is a difference, at least as of now. I reserve my right to change my opinion very quickly, though. All right, back to Christmas. One of my favorite little tidbits is that tinsel is actually based off spider webs.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so spider webs, because they would bring in the tree for the Yule Fest, right? And specifically, if you were somebody that was poor, you might be able to bring in the tree, but you may not be able to decorate it. But the whole point of the evergreen was this idea of spring is coming.
Yeah.
Life continues on. Even though the tree has been cut and is drying and losing its needles in your house, the idea was,
by the time that's dead, spring will be here.
Yeah, but what would happen is spiders would make their webs within the tree because they were just living in the tree. And when the light would hit it, it would either reflect in a silverish or a goldish tone, depending on what time of day it was and how the sun was hitting it. And how
that
the light
reminds
was
me of one other one kind of adjacent to Christmas. Dad, what is your and my least favorite thing about Christmas?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's a good question because I fucking hate all of it.
No, there's one thing very particular. One
Hit me with
very,
it,
very
because
specific.
I got to be honest with you right now. I'm going into this holiday, and my mind is so negative. For
Glitter.
the glitter, yes. Oh,
Did you
fuck.
know?
Oh,
Did you know
fuck glitter?
that glitter manufacturers will not tell you who their top buyers are?
Really?
They refuse to tell you, and there's a lot of conspiracies about it. The one that
Now,
I
I could
think
tell
has,
you who.
yeah, the one that I think has the most credibility.
Strip joints?
No, the U.S. government.
Really?
Yeah, because there are certain kinds of like night vision or different like vision aid tools for military uses
That you can
that
fuck
get
up?
thrown off by glitter.
No shit. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I had no idea.
The glitter manufacturers will not tell you who their top buyers are.
Now,
They will not.
I know you know, Colton. I don't know if you know, Keith. Do you know why I hate glitter so much?
Strippers?
Essentially. Not exactly, but close.
Adjacent.
It's adjacent. I got hired to be the comedian in Lake Tahoe at Caesars. And this was a very good paying gig. But it was an interesting show. It wasn't just me being a comedian. It was a topless review. And this is how crazy
Didn't
it
want
was.
to show off the boys.
I didn't care. Fuck, whatever. I would have gone up there and done it fucking naked. I don't care. Just don't get the glitter on me.
All right, guys, pull out your Christmas ornaments.
Yeah, we're hanging. We're hanging shit. So I was pre-warned on accepting this gig. And the problem is because it was a topless review, and this is how weird it was. It was a topless review. The comedian was supposed to be like kind of like a host or MC. You go out, you do 10 minutes to open show. You bring out the dancers, they do their bit. You go back out for intermission. You do another 10, 15 minutes. You bring the dancers back out. You go back out, you do another 5 minutes, and then you have the globe of death, right? So the big finale to this was there were two guys that rode motorcycles in this great big metal ball, right?
Yep.
And they were amazing. Like everyone on the show for what they did were absolutely amazing. The problem was they were having
Were they swinging dick in the ball on the motor?
No. They had all the protective stuff on.
Okay.
But they actually were the stars of the show. Like that was where the biggest cheers typically came from.
Mm-hmm.
So I get approached to do this gig, and they said, look, here's the problem. We have struggled to find comedians that can be professional with all these naked women backstage. And they're like, just a heads up, just do your best to not look at the girls. They're going to be all around you.
Look at them.
But just try to be professional, right? So I get booked on this the first time for a 1 week deal. I go and I do it. Everything goes great. They rebook me for 2 months. So I had a month on.
As a thank you for not hitting on their girls.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was the only one. I mean, look, at the time, I was the only one that was like, I'm not trying to fuck everyone on this stage. Like to me, it was a job, and you go and you do your job, right? So I get booked back for like 2 months, like a month on, a month off, another month on, and it might have been another month off, another month on. I don't remember, but I was booked there more than any other of their previous comics because of the fact that I could keep it professional and I wasn't trying to fuck all the dancers. I became friends with them, as you do. Right? Now, the way it was set up was there was a chair for the comedian, a nice leather, high-armed chair that you just, when you weren't working, you sat in that chair and just looked straight forward. Directly over my left shoulder was Frenchie, who was from France, was a dancer, and
Enchanté.
enchanté. to my right, I had two other dancers, one of which was dating the main guy who rode the motorcycle in the ball. Even though that guy was married, right? They had hooked up because this was like a 3-month, 4-month, 6-month, whatever it was, engagement with a re-up on it. So the second time I'm there, or the third time I'm there rather, I'm on a first name basis with everyone. We were all, like we'd go get drinks after the show. Like it was very, very casual. No one was trying to fuck anyone. We were all good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the girls decide they're going to fuck with me. And they put this big bowl of glitter right here because they had to glitter up. So they start glittering up. This was not the first week. This was the second time I was there. They started glittering up in front of me. So they were literally taking handfuls of glitter and just either throwing it at their own bodies or throwing it at each other to get a full coverage. In the course of this, that glitter's in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there for
I know where this
fucking month. And about the third or fourth week, I'm having nasal issues. And I sneezed in my room. And I swear to God, a fucking disco ball came out of my fucking snot locker. It was
For me, it's literally just Christmas cards with glitter. Gets everywhere. I can't get it off of my hands. I don't want it on me. I don't want it on my clothes.
Until you felt the pain. Until you felt the pain of a massive amount. And when I say a massive amount, it was probably the size of a dime, if that. But I had, between my two nostrils, I had at least a dime's worth of glitter stuck up my nose. And I sneezed in my room. And I blew out.
And it was like Studio 54.
It was it was a disco ball. Mick Jagger was there. I had Linda Ronstadt. A young Michael Jackson walked by.
They kicked in the door with a bowl of cocaine.
It was amazing up until the point of the pain and the blood that came out of my nose from the glitter. So that's my reason. Your reason is totally different, but I fucking hate glitter. Hate it.
For me, it's literally just Christmas cards. Glitter gets everywhere. I hate it.
It's horrible. It's a horrible fucking invention. No one should have it.
Now, to get the choo-choo train back on track, really.
Oh, good luck. At this point.
Just to explain how important Norse gods are in today's society still, I give you the days of the week.
Oh, yeah. Thursday,
Wednesday, which is for Odin. Tuesday, which is for Tyr, the god of justice.
Friday for Freya.
Yeah.
Yep.
What?
Saturday for Saturn, I would assume. So, like, going to the Romans.
The Roman god of agriculture.
What's Sunday and Monday?
Sunday is Solus, the sun god.
Okay.
And you asked Monday?
Yeah.
Which would be the moon, lunar.
We should have Mondays off. I don't think anyone should work Monday.
32-hour work week.
That's what I'm saying. Do we need more? Honestly, do we need more
4-day school days?
Well, it makes more sense because you're rested and look.
Yeah.
You just can't.
The biggest
by the end of the week, you're not doing anything.
No,
is actually parents who don't want their brats at home.
Well, no, they
by the
just
end
don't.
Of the week, you're not doing anything anyway. You're not learning anything. You're not doing anything productive. It should be a 4-day.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that everything should be a 4-day. Everything should be 4 days. If you can't get it done in 4 days, I don't even care if it's 4 10-hour days.
Nursing is 3 days. You work 3 days a week.
It makes sense because you're able to be absolutely focused, absolutely engaged, and give your best for, I would say,
bare minimum every other day.
I would say that you've got.
So you have a 4-day week and then a 3-day week.
I think you've got anywhere from 24 to 32 hours that you can focus on bullshit tasks in order to make money. I think that's it. Beyond that, the company's not really getting anything out of it other than a body just being there.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. If you're talking, a nurse working an extra shift, you're just shy for that shift and you just need a body. But she's probably sitting there, or he's probably sitting there just fucking off for most of that shift as much as possible because they have made it clear to every other nurse working, I'm actually here on a 4th day. I shouldn't be here. and everyone else kind of pitches in to let them fuck off a little bit.
Give them the easy shit.
Yeah, why not? All right, so let's try to wrap this up a little bit. We did not discuss Christmas as much as I had hoped for. We didn't get into the evil elves, the dark elves. We didn't get into the light elves. We didn't get into.
Well, get into it real quick.
Well, I mean, there's
The
not
elf on the shelf.
elf on a shelf. All right, that's one that actually, to be honest with you, I think is kind of cute.
Snoop Dogg has an elf on a shelf.
Does he?
Yeah, he has a Snoop Dogg. It's an elf on a shelf, but Snoop's face on it.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you. I think I love Snoop Dogg. I think
Who doesn't?
I think Snoop Dogg figured out what every other rapper of his generation.
The Norwegian, I'll tell you who doesn't. The Norwegian government doesn't love him.
No,
he has a
because
warrant out for his
his
arrest
arrest,
if he
yeah.
ever goes back to Norway.
because he tested positive for marijuana.
Yep.
But I would say that no one has done more for marijuana, more for rap music, and more for love.
Martha Stewart.
Well, I was getting to that. More for Martha
Well,
Stewart.
You
And
can't say marijuana because the real messiah of marijuana is actually Willie Nelson.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
totally
fair.
agree. And so would Snoop.
Willie, to Snoop's own admission,
Outsmoked
Willie is
him.
the only person that smoked him under the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. you gotta love the old redheaded stranger, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care who you are. I'm fucking you up, man.
On the road again.
I can't wait to get on the road again. And Snoop's like, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And he's like,
Willie's like
Willie's
94 years old, still traveling and touring.
I just saw him earlier this year.
Smoking. Yeah,
How
he's
was that concert?
smoking up.
It was past his bedtime.
he
You
wasn't,
could
Aw,
tell.
yeah.
You could tell.
he was struggling.
Yeah, I mean, he was hitting like, I don't know, every third or fourth chord on the guitar.
Yeah. He's
Like-
also what, 98?
Yeah, he was doing his best. I think he's 93 or 94,
Yeah.
but he was doing his best.
Let me tell you something. Grandpa is 10 years away from that. And there ain't no way he's getting up on stage and singing a fucking note. So let's love Willie for what Willie can do at this age.
Yep.
Have you guys seen Frankie Valli live lately?
God damn, it's
The
like they're
videos.
just it's what was the movie from the 80s, Weekend at Bernie's. It's Weekend at Bernie's right now with Frankie
Mhm.
Valli.
It
Is
is
it?
sad.
Oh, it's
It is
just
sad.
it's horrible. It's horrible.
He's just
it's
mouthing to an audio track.
it's almost like elder abuse in my opinion on
It
that
is.
one. And there's
Almost-
a couple others.
It almost sounds like Sinatra at the end, whereas like he was like, this is going to be my last concert, and then the applause made him kind of like kick it into high gear.
Yeah, it's but there's no high gear with Frankie. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Is like he's
No.
in sixth gear. That's it. That's all he's got, and that's barely getting him to the stool on the stage.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap this up with happy Christmas memories. Unless
I
you
was
got
about to
something
say,
else.
why doesn't everybody give a great Christmas memory?
All right, we'll start with you, Keith.
With me?
Yeah, let's get.
Oh, dear Lord.
Now we've
I-
already discussed how you had a horrible Christmas when I got all of your toys accidentally.
Yes. No. That was not accidentally.
What are you trying to imply?
I am not implying. I am saying you put your name in all of my stuff in the study. You found the gifts. You
Snuck
replaced the
down.
name tags only on the toys, leaving me all of the clothing.
Okay. You never heard of this story?
No, I didn't. That's evil.
Oh yeah, yeah. He found
So
where
Grandma-
Mom stashed all of the gifts. the
Nana
toys.
would on every toy she would either put an S or a K. So it was either S for Steve or K for Kiefer.
Yep.
And it was it was just a tiny little piece of paper and a tiny little piece of Scotch tape. Well, at that point, I mean, even though we were young, I think at that point I was already forging Mom's signature and Dad's signature. And so I took an S off of one and took all the K's off of all the toys. And I used
You
that.
figured out which was the Kohl's or whatever, Kmart or whatever.
Yeah.
The box that the clothes would be in.
Oh yeah, no, I knew everything.
Peel that
I
one
knew
off.
every.
Nana, she wouldn't wrap everything at once. She would do it over the course of a couple of months. So it never occurred to her
to check
to notice how many were for Steve.
No.
And then Steve and I would trade off every year passing out the gifts. He had a ton and no one noticed. Nobody noticed.
Were you passing them out that year?
No, I
Yes,
don't.
he was.
Was I?
Yeah.
Was I that year?
It was either you or it was Jeff.
I think it was Jeff because I don't
as I
remember
was
being. I
opening-
remember sitting there just laughing to myself.
I'm opening up sweater vest after socks after
Underwear
some
after
stupid
jeans.
shirt or slacks or whatever, and just like, this is the worst Christmas fucking night. The hell? And I'm literally like,
And Nana.
That sounds
do
on the
something
funny
wrong.
list.
The funny
Yeah,
thing is,
like,
is
did I do
Nana.
something wrong?
Like Grandpa, he's not even paying attention because he's fucking checked out. He didn't, whatever.
He's
but-
watching the fireplace on the TV.
Yeah, like, but Nana's looking, going, "Oh, you must have just got front loaded with all the clothes, right? Expecting the toys were coming. We get
She
through
was
everything.
tipped off by the doubles that Steve was getting
Yeah. So
of the Star Wars.
it was a Star Wars Christmas.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So let me guess. You got 2 Han Solos.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Like 2
I got-
Chewbacca's.
I got doubles of damn near everything. You know what I mean? I made sure that, like, I think that particular year, like, I think I got the Millennium Falcon, but you got Dagobah or something
Yeah,
else. You, like,
that was exactly it. I got Yoda's Dagobah, but no Yoda,
no.
no Luke to go with it, just Dagobah.
I took that.
You got the set, but not the characters. All right.
So it was one of those things where, like, all right, so one of the things you got to understand about me is part of the reason why I got soured on Christmas was at a very early age, like 8, I recognized, because I was snooping, that the gifts I had seen behind a particular chair were the stocking stuffers.
Oh.
So that whole year, anytime I could take money, right? Can I keep the change, Dad? Yeah, you can keep the change, right? And I went and I added stocking stuffers, but not just to mine or Keith's. I did it specifically to Mom and Dad's. And they come down and they're like, what the fuck is, like, what is this? Right? So this 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-old tops
yeah.
had spent an entire year planning to fuck with my mom and dad, your grandpa and grandpa, on Christmas because they had lied to me and I was going to fuck with them. And if I'm not mistaken, it was probably that same Christmas. It had to have been 8, 9 years old, 10 years old tops, because you would have been about 5, right?
Yeah.
5 or 6. So it was right around that time, right? So this 10-year-old had taken not only the entire year from the previous Christmas to figure out how to fuck with his parents, but also decided, I'm going to make sure I get all the toys this year. So I had switched all the S's or all the K's to S's and ended up with every single toy that Nana had bought for Uncle Keith. And then, unfortunately and very unceremoniously, had to give him all of his toys that he was not allowed to have unwrapped. It's like throwing them across the living room. Here's your fucking Stormtrooper. Here's your fucking Darth Vader. Here's your fucking Han Solo.
And much like the Stormtroopers, he kept missing. Well, another great memory is
shit.
Mom and Dad had this little nativity set.
Oh, I
underneath
remember
the tree
that. Yeah.
That was old. The little baby Jesus would pop out of the manger.
Yeah, it actually
just
had
plugged
a
in.
pin in its back that would go into the manger.
Yeah, a plastic pin.
Yeah.
You just set it in. But every year, being a kid, I would,
Steal the
playing
Jesus.
with the nativity scene, and Every year, Darth Vader set upon them, cutting them all down with the lightsaber.
Oh no, baby Jesus is on Dagobah.
So
Yeah.
that
Sinking
happened.
into the little sea.
Yeah, there were 3 wise men walking around the Dagobah swamp. So, what of that is your favorite Christmas memory?
Honestly, my favorite Christmas memory is the year that we heard the bells at night.
Oh God,
Thinking
that was good,
Santa,
wasn't
and
it?
we weren't excited. We were terrified.
Yeah, I remember
We were
that.
playing Atari, and we
Yeah.
both heard it and ran to mom and dad, who were both sleeping.
Yeah,
To this day, we don't know what it was, but we both heard it.
we did hear that. Yeah, I remember that, and we were. I think weren't we in my room in the orange room playing
Yes.
Atari?
We were playing Asteroids.
Yeah, I remember.
Asteroids
I
and
do
Pitfall.
remember that. That actually, I would have to say that's probably one of my favorite memories is of Christmas as a child, because we had just got Atari, and that was like, so we had Asteroids, we had Night Driver, and we had Pitfall.
Yep.
And those 3 games, I mean, talk about taking us through endless hours of entertainment. But that was
Absolutely.
that was something that you and I actually, even more so, like when we were kids, specifically around Christmas, the week in between Christmas and New Year's, you and I would definitively play with our toys together very well.
Yes.
So whether that was a racetrack or a Hot Wheels track, or whether that was video games, or whether it was Star Wars. Evel Knievel. Oh, actually, I think I got Evel Knievel before he was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
He knew
I
of it.
remember always setting up the racetracks, and we were always trying to conspire how to get it up over the counter in the kitchen.
Yes.
So it added an extra roller coaster. It would be everywhere. Everywhere.
But the thing,
I got an Evel Knievel.
yeah, I bought you
Christmas.
that.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and never fucking played with it. Didn't really care.
Yeah, I did.
You
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
give a shit. You could have cared less. You're
I
like,
got one for
it's
you.
dad's motorcycle bullshit.
I got one for you.
I was
All right.
about to say Colton's favorite memory.
I would say my favorite memory was I must have been 7, maybe. And I woke up before you two and took it upon myself to tear into the Christmas presents.
Mm-hmm.
And you woke up and I was dressed as half Jack Sparrow and half Davy Jones.
So one of the things that I always thought was important was he had absolute love of movies, right? Didn't matter what the
Still
movie
do.
was. He absolutely loved movies, and I loved that he loved movies. But more
Just bought
important,
one today, actually.
more importantly, I loved that he loved the characters. So one of the things that I would do is after Halloween, I would go and I would buy any of the leftover costumes that I thought he would like. So at one point, you probably had 30 or 40.
Oh, not quite that much. I think at most I probably had like 15 or 20 costumes.
You easily had 20 costumes, easily, if not more. I would say it's in between 20 and 30 over the course of it all. At any given moment, 15 to 20, but over the course of those 4 years, you easily had 40, 50 costumes that you'd gone through.
Yeah.
I used to love that. Because I thought this is, because he would go in his room, he'd throw on Captain Jack Sparrow, and then he'd go back and come out and play for a minute, and then he'd go back in his room and he'd be, what was the
Davy Jones.
Davy Jones? He would be Davy Jones, and then he'd go back in his room and he'd come
Go
running
back
out
and come out a cowboy.
or Superman or Batman or whatever. And to me, it was like this creative expression. That was one of my favorite times with you, is the idea that you were like, I'm just going to be this for now. And you'd come out, walking all fucked up like Jack Sparrow. Yeah. I just loved it. I thought that was just such a great opportunity for imagination and creativity and play. And what?
Why is the rum gone?
Yeah, he would say that. Why is the rum gone? So a 7-year-old coming out. Why's the rum gone? As far as Christmas, God, Like, I really want to say that I have one as a child, but the closest I think I can get to that was I had asked, and God bless Mom for doing it, because she didn't understand it, had no idea what I asked for: a microphone cord, a microphone stand, and a bar stool. And it was all I asked for.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, why? And she knew I was interested in stand-up. I said, I want to practice stand-up in my room so that I can eventually be a stand-up comedian. And she was like, okay. And she literally went and got a microphone.
Is that the microphone that was always kicking around the garage when we were in the condo?
No, that was a different one.
I distinctly remember always seeing that microphone,
It
but
might have
nothing
been.
else.
Yeah, it might have been. I might have kept
It's
that.
old dusty, like Shure.
Yeah,
whatever.
it was just all dented up and had been dropped 1,000 times. And
Yeah.
I want to add in an honorable mention. I don't remember if it was Christmas Day, Christmas Eve or New Year's Day. It was one of the two. It was always inevitable that there would be a cheese dip in like a fondue type pot.
that was Christmas Eve. Every Christmas
And-
Eve there was fondue.
Absolutely. And Jeff would get in there with the chips or the breadsticks, like go crazy. If it was a dip,
It's gone.
There was
Yeah.
nothing that our cousin Jeff loved
Set
more.
out 2 bowls.
It didn't
One
matter
for
what it
everyone
was.
else.
It didn't matter what it was. If it was a dip,
Yeah,
he
was-
would go overboard always. So like you almost had to buy.
He had a problem.
Well, his biggest problem wasn't even the cheese dip; it was chip dip.
Oh yeah.
You almost
But
had to
the-
give him his own bag of chips and his own.
Hey man, you got a dime bag of that French onion?
Yeah, he was like legit. Like I've never seen somebody put so. We would get him because we learned, right? You couldn't get normal potato chips. You had to get the thick cut, like Ruffles,
Yeah, like the
Yes.
wavy ones.
the wavy ones.
Yes.
But Mom would get like an off brand that was actually thicker and heavier, because otherwise you would end up with
It was the Kroger brand.
okay.
Yeah. But with the cheese dip, he would get in there and there was a warmer, a candle, or a sterno,
Sterno, yeah.
and to warm up the cheese. And the one year he kept going back to the cheese so often, either his cuff for his dress shirt or the button. I don't remember which. I think it was the button that melted because he kept getting so close to it.
Look,
And the kitchen had a burnt plastic
smell for it. Yeah, I
And
remember
Auntie
that.
kept complaining about it.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
It was in their kitchen, which is small.
And thing of it is that what
Most
obviously
holidays he'd screw up something on.
he always did, and it didn't matter how old he was. He would get a 3-corner tear in his dress pants every year. It didn't matter. Like
every Easter.
every Easter, like if he made it through Christmas with the pair of dress pants, Easter they were fucking 3-corner tear on the knees. I mean, that went all the way up until he was in his 30s. That's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're in dress pants. What are you doing?
And of course, the Christmas Day trips to the Chinese restaurant and
Yeah, absolutely.
the lights out in the bathroom.
All right.
We gotta keep that
All right.
tradition
Well,
alive.
that actually is my favorite memory as a child, I think, because you and I actually figured out we were good working. We were better working together than individually, right? So our poor cousin.
We were such jerks.
Oh my God, this is horrible. This is literally horrible. I'm almost embarrassed to tell people this.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So we got to a point where me and Keith were kind of on the same page, and we were very, very bored with the Groundhog Day festivities that happened every year, right?
Oh, Elle, should we get a drink? Should we?
I don't know, Paul. What do you think?
Oh, well,
How about we just get
maybe this year we will.
Yeah, all right, let's do this. Let's get some plum wine, right? So this would happen.
Getting warm in here.
Yeah.
Is it warm to you?
1-2 sips, and our aunt was, oh my God, I shouldn't have listened to you, El. I shouldn't have listened to you. Oh, shut up, Pauline. You're fine. Yeah, I am. And then she'd start sweating. And 5 minutes later, Nana would start sweating. It's so hot in here. It's so hot in here, right? Because they had a
5
glass
pounds of makeup is melting
off. I mean, they looked like Indiana Jones, right? Raiders in the Lost Ark. Right? Their fucking faces would just start melting off, right?
Oh, you mean the movie where Indiana Jones is completely irrelevant?
Exactly. Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
Yep.
And it would have ended the same with or without him. So we got bored with this. And the one thing that we knew was going to happen every year, because we clocked it, dinner would happen, and at some point in between the sherbet and the fortune cookies versus dinner, Jeff would have to go to the bathroom. Our cousin would have to go to the bathroom.
You'd have to drop trowel in the stall.
Hold on.
And usually, go ahead.
He would never use a urinal. So he always sat down no matter what. And we figured this out. So one of us would turn the light off right about
that simple.
Seconds after one of us kicked the door in.
No. It started. You would get up and during the dinner and remove the toilet paper from the one stall, because it was always the same restaurant.
Yeah.
So Steve would go
hide it under the sink or something.
No, I would
remove
just
the
fucking
toilet
take
paper.
it. I would take it.
Yeah, knowing that
hide it in my shirt.
There, sit down and not check. And as we would mosey on in there, just waiting, follow him in. And then as he asked, turn off the light.
Yeah, so I would always go in early. I'd go in like in between egg rolls and soup.
Yeah.
And hide the toilet paper. Sometimes I would just hide it on, in the bathroom or whatever. Sometimes I would actually keep it on me. And we would just wait patiently and see if he'd
Uncle
figure
Joe
it out.
Would go in afterwards.
Well, no, hold on. That came later.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was just stealing the toilet paper. And then it became turning the lights off. And then it became kicking the door in and then turning the lights off after stealing the toilet paper. And after about 5 to 7 years, our uncle got hip to the fact we were fucking with this kid.
But he would never say anything.
He never said a word.
Not a word.
Not a word. And he knew what was up. He was walking in on this shit. There was no one else in the fucking restaurant that would have done this to them. It was
always us every year. Nobody else.
All right. I want to replace my favorite Christmas memory with that. Because I honestly think that that's my favorite Christmas memory. I hated Christmas Eve. Even when I was a kid getting toys, like from age 10 on, I just was done with it.
Every year, Uncle Joe would do the same joke. Oh, we're not going to open up on Christmas Eve anymore. We're going to start doing it on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Just to torture him.
Just to torture us.
Just to torture him.
Which is, I think, why we tortured Jeff so much in retaliation. But, honestly, I did not, from age 10 forward, I was always looking for a good Christmas and never finding it. I was always disappointed in one form or another.
Which is why you had to kick the door in, turn the lights off, and steal the toilet paper.
It made me happy. It made me happy. And I'll be honest with you, I think that's where we put a pin in it. I think that's another Elsie's Little Pickles. And I sincerely hope, as I'm sure both of you do, that everyone who listens to this has a phenomenal Christmas. I want people to have great Christmases. I want them to have a great holiday.
Yeah, or whatever else you celebrate. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, I know it's all right around the same time.
Yeah.
Festivus.
Yeah, Festivus for the rest of us. Whatever it is that you celebrate, at least for the next week, going into the new year, at least until...
Enjoy the insanity of your own family.
Yeah. January 2nd, everything becomes real again. From now until January 2nd, do your best to enjoy yourself, even if that means pulling pranks and kicking in doors and bathrooms on your cousin, even if that means turning the lights off on, an aunt who's taking a dump. Whatever it is that you can do to have a little bit of fun, a little bit,
Leave a little pickle behind.
leave a little pickle behind, be a little mischievous, but do it with good intent. We never did it out of malice. We never did it because we didn't like our cousin. We did it because we were teasing him. And actually, those were some of my favorite Christmas memories, was torturing our cousin. And now I'm paying for it because now I have to clean up after him. But most importantly, between now and January 2nd, just try to find the opportunity to enjoy your family, enjoy your life, enjoy your friends, enjoy your coworkers.
Slow down for a minute.
Slow down for a moment, have a drink, and just think about what you might have to be thankful for. And with that, that's another Elsie's Little Pickles. Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year.